What's going on, guys? Brandon back with another video, and today we're working on something that should have been put off till not this long. Anyways, guys, what we're doing today is we're swapping out brake pads, and these still have a little life left on them, but on the other side they're like completely gone. So that being said, I went to pick apart, got some other brake pads that were better, had a little bit more life on them, and they're about the same overall. I kind of wanted to show you guys like how badly wore down these are, but I can't do that until the wheel's off. I just tried looking underneath from the side to get a camera view, but I can't get it out of there because the backing plate's in the way. So go ahead and get started and show you guys step by step how to replace your brake pads. This applies to almost any vehicle. It's pretty much similar for any sort of disc brake you have. First off, you want to start jacking up the vehicle. Get it in a safe spot where you know it'll hold like the axle or the frame or wherever. Right now I'm just doing it right off the shock bracket. Anyways, guys, let's go ahead and jack this up and we'll get to the rest here. Also, guys, remember when working underneath a car with a jack on it, the jack could fail at any time, so you want to put a jack stand or something to help support on here. So it's like, for me, I would put it on the axle. Next thing you'll want to do, since the drive wheels are the rear, I won't have to worry about it, you know, keep spinning on me while I'm trying to get the lugs off. If you're doing something like where it's not the drive axle, where it just spins freely when it's jacked up, crack the lug nuts loose first and then jack it up. You want to grab a four-way. I know my tool's over here. Grab your four-way, and whichever one of these fits the best, use that to pop off your lug nuts. Righty tighty, lefty loosey as always. Once you have all your lug nuts off, pull off your wheel, and that should be fairly simple, unless it's been on there for a while, and then you might have trouble getting it off. So you might have to kick it a couple times or heat or whatever you have. Now down here, I wanted to show you guys how badly worn these pads are. There's about nothing left on that side, and then through the top here, there's barely anything on that. So compare that to this, where it's actually got quite a bit more meat on it. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this torn down. Alright, next thing you want is a 1/2-inch wrench. For this, you can either use a 1/2-inch wrench or you can use a 1/2-inch socket on a 3/8 drive, and then just unscrew until she's loose. There's a bolt here, and then there's a bolt here as well that you'll need to crack loose. Depending how long they've been sitting on there, or depending how tight they've been on there last time you put them on, then that'll tell you how much a pain in the butt this is going to be get off. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get these off, and I'll show you how to pull out the caliper. Okay, now that we got the two bolts out, usually you might need a pry bar. A screwdriver under there, possibly a little bit thicker than this, would be quite advisable. You know what, let's do that. You can either do that by prying out from under the rotor, or what I like to do is stick a small wrench underneath where the pad is and then just kind of work its way out. Careful, you're going to need two hands to catch the caliper before it rips off the brake line, which it did one time on me and had to fix that. So basically I would just, get the bottom out and then do the top, because if you see on the bottom, the pads, they're smooth versus the one that have a little notch in them to hold them in when you put them back in. Alright, now that you have the caliper off, there's a special way to do this. I might need to go get my tripod. This one has some prongs inside it that goes inside the caliper to hold them on, and then this one has this bracket on the outside. I'll show you how to pop that bracket off. For this job, you're just going to need a flathead screwdriver, just about mid-size, so that way you get it like Walmart or whatever. And this outer one right here, I know you guys can't see very well. If you look on the bottom, there's like little grooves here and here. It makes it so you can stick your screwdriver in, just kind of towards the end, pry it apart. I know you guys can't see very well. Pry it apart and just, kind of push it out a couple times on each. And then that'll force that bracket to come off, because it has like little studs that come out on the brackets. They kind of like lock in place, and then it'll have like little studs on the pad itself. I'll show you what I mean here in a second. There we go. Hopefully that stays. Don't want that to go bonkers. Okay. So on this pad, yeah, there is. Okay. Yeah, there you can see right there. There's a little prong that's sticking out, and that's what locks it into the caliper when that bracket kind of squeezes down on the caliper itself. Now, to put new pads in, which I bought them used to pick apart, same concept. You can see it has those little studs in them. Make sure they go in the right way. Basically, just slide them in, but first, put the one with this on first. These can be a little tricky, so just take your time. Try not to damage the caliper boot. Takes a little playing with. And then it's in. So, first one is in. I know you guys can't really see very well, I'm sorry. First one's in. Now, the bracket one. Be careful, but you can slide them into the caliper. Little to no issue. Also, good time to mention something. You can kind of see how there's no room to fit it on the rotor. So I should have kept the outside pad out, and use a C-clamp against the housing of the caliper against the pad to push the little caliper piston back in. This will make it so you can fit everything on the rotor. As you can see, right there, there's a lot of, where I could just press it back in. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. I'll show you the process. Okay, grab yourself a C-clamp. This one is looks like a 6. You could probably get away with a 4, but anyways, so on the back of the caliper, there's a good empty spot right here where I can put my C-clamp at, and then use the swivel end where it comes out to go through here. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out eventually. Kind of put that end in. I know you guys can't see very well. And then the other piece goes towards the back, and then I'm just going to screw it in. And this will be enough to push that, cap back. This does push brake fluid back into the brake fluid reservoir, so you may want to take off the cap and or make sure you have enough taken out in case you're doing, like, say, all 4 brakes. I just want to get this back far enough to where I can get these pads on. It seems like it's doing pretty good, so I'm just going to do 1 or 2 little turns, and that should be good. Alright, now put your pad in, and then slide it up onto the rotor and bracket. Make sure these little clips aren't in the way. And now, get yourself a hammer and lightly tap that in. Got a hammer, and just gonna, make sure these 2 are in there. Make sure these little sliders in the back messed up or screwed up or anything like that, so you want to make sure that those are kind of pushed out of the way to get onto the bracket, so that'll start to slide on there. And then you want to do the same with the other one down here, so that one slides in, and then give her a couple good taps here and there. Okay, so my problem was this clip right here, it wasn't it was actually just catching on the edge of this bracket. So once everything's lined up, grab your bolts, spray some WD-40 on them, and then stick them back in, screw them in, and you'll be good to go. Do that here and down on this one as well. Next step is screw these things back in. I'm using a wrench. Much easier using sockets, but right now we don't have those because they're scattered literally everywhere in my shop. And then once those 2 are nice and snug, that's back on, and you'll be good to go. Now is a good time to also check for leaks around hoses and lines. And then now you need to put your wheel on. put your lug nuts on and tighten them down at the 4-way. You use your body weight and be careful. And after you do that, you are officially done. Lower the jack down. Alright, so for my jack, I just crack the valve knob loose, lower the jack down, tighten that little valve back up, and pull it out. Okay, now when you get in the vehicle, you may not have brakes for a second because you push the pads back and there's a little space between the rotors. Just pump it a couple times and it should harden up. After that started up, and you should be good. So now I have brakes, and good brakes, I should say that. Alrighty guys, that should end today's video. Thank you guys for watching. I know, a bright day, finally got a nice day of sun. Anyways, whew, look at this beautiful day. Love it. Anyways, catch you all in another video. I know I haven't been posting like I should. I've been kind of slacking off lately. A lot of schoolwork and stuff that's been needing done, so haven't been able to get to YouTube very much. But since I figure I got a nice day to do stuff, might as well record a couple videos for you guys. Catch y'all later. Oh hey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank y'all.